Alright, hope everybody's having a great day. Almost sounded like Tony Black there for a second there, but alright. Anyway, that's kind of silly. Yesterday I was not feeling good, so I didn't make a video. Well, actually I did make a video, but the quality was just really bad. There was all kind of stripes across the screen, and it was not very great. But I went to a new LCS, technically a new LCS. I had not been there. Very unusual. There's a Cosmic Exchange upstairs, with weird polished rocks and that kind of stuff, and I bought a rock from them. And then you go outside, you go down the street a little bit, down an alley, and then you go around to the back, and then down the stairs, and in the basement is the Cosmic Card Shop. The guys seemed to know their stuff well enough, but I knew a few more things about some of the cards in their cases than they did. I found one 1960 68, 69 A and B C soccer card in the glass case there. They wanted $25 for it. I couldn't figure out any reason why it was $25. It should have probably been about $2.50. I think it wasn't the star. Don't quote me on that one. But it was in good condition, so, it's the only one that they've seen, so they just put a big price on it. But I noticed that there were a few cards in there that were kind of above and beyond what I would normally pay. But it was a nice shop. The guy that ran it kind of reminded me a little of a Mangini. I couldn't tell if this guy was Italian or not, kind of had that look about him. But to make a long story short, I had a positive experience there, and that's really all that matters. They didn't have a lot of because half of their store was devoted to Pokemon, and I think they probably make more sales with that. But that being said, everything was in top loaders, everything was in team bags, these team bags here, and everything was in penny sleeves. So all those three of those combined probably added the cost of the cards. I got out of there very cheaply for about $4. I got this beat up Felipe Alou, not in great condition. I don't know what it's valued at, but that cost me approximately $1.50 if you spread things out here. And then this one was marked 3. That's Willie McCovey here. It's got kind of a squashed corner there and some sort of little small ding right there. It's in okay condition. It's got good enough colors there, and it's more or less centered as good as you can get for a $3 card there. It's on par with eBay, but I will say that people are uploading some slightly nicer examples in that $3 to $5 price range there. So nothing really special. I spent $6 on a rock at the rock shop upstairs in some sort of weird kind of polished marble. It's got a couple of dents in it, but I don't know. I was just being polite, and that was one of the cheapest things in the store, so I just bought that. So there is that one there. I don't need to go into those two places too often, or into video format. Something got me, oh yeah, that card got me thinking about my soccer collection. Yet again, even though I have a small order on the way from the UK, I was double checking COMC and found quite a few more things. I think my favorite seller, Mimi Josh, somebody mentioned that's one of their favorite sellers as well. They were having their usual sale, and some cards were even cheaper than the previous time. So there were some cards that were like $1.50 to $1.70 odd, or whatever. Now they're like $1.30 odd. So I said, you know what, game on, I'll get some of those. This is not one of them. This is one of the cards that does not fit in my binder, Hugh Kelly, Blackpool and Scotland. I just think it's one of my favorite cards, but I need to get those pages that go this way. Too bad I can't get a... If anybody knows of a page format that fits like the Bowman size cards that goes up and down like this, I'd like to get some pages this format instead of having everything go sideways. Otherwise it'll just stay in my top loader for a long time. But I keep forgetting I have that one. But, I ran into numerous things on COMC. People are just shooting for the moon and shooting themselves in the foot, and that's just fine for them. You don't need to promote them and don't need to follow them. But I will say that there's cards on COMC right now for 60 cents. There was another one that was $1, and this one particular seller, every $1 card on COMC, they wanted 10. Every 60-cent card on COMC that was in the worst condition that you can even imagine, they wanted $50 for $49.23. All that almighty 23 cents. That's absolutely crazy. So they're a buyer, they can get it for a better deal than I can. If I think you can switch to a buying account, and then if you set to flip or whatever the deal is. So unfortunately, a lot of the cards were stuck, but those are cards I didn't want in my collection because they had tape stains and rips on it. I'm not going to show you those, but I'll just show you a quick example. Here's an Everton card here. Okay, some of those cards that were $50 were in worse condition than this one. And this is Roger Kenyon, wing half is what it says. This is from the 1970s. This is 71, 72 A and B, C, and it's on sale for 60 cents from Mimi Josh. Okay, but those jokers have cards with big rips and damages to the cards, and they want nearly $50 for them. And there's no reason. They're not even any star players. I'm trying to figure out why these random players were $50 and realizing, somebody's trying to scam you. And that's every card in their store. They're mostly like a modern card and slab seller, but they did buy a bunch of vintage soccer that basically took the, what happens is that you can have a monopoly on a certain card on ComC, and that's what a lot of people do. They'll just take the one example of that card and they'll just put whatever crazy price on it. And sometimes people are over a barrel and they'll buy it. It's like, okay, well, it's normally a 60-cent card, but that's the last card I need. I might as well pay $5 or $6 or $4. But they're not paying $50 or $60 for that said card. So it's not the only example of people price gouging still to this day. They might have done that during the old whatchamacallit a couple years ago, and those are cards that are still there. Even if they had them 75% off on sale, they're still too much. So let's get into what I also grabbed. I went to the Goodwill bins afterwards and I found this really cool. It's really hard to see here, but it's the Knott Davis Company, belting and roofing and mill supplies out of 41st Street, Portland, Oregon. As you know, that trunk that I bought recently, this, you never know, it could have come from the same collection. This is from 1908 or 1904. It's really, really super old, but it's a neat print here. I couldn't find another copy of this, The First Night Out from Painting by Wesley Weber. And there's kind of a cool Titanic type thing right there, and then the old school boats there. It's got some damage here. I sort of started to color that in there. I'm going to use some other pencils or some sort of art pencils to color that in and make that disappear a little bit. But this was very, very not expensive. Knott Davis Company, belting and roofing. Couldn't find anything on the internet about that. I couldn't find anything about 41st Street because Portland has redesigned all their streets since the turn of the previous century, so I couldn't find anything about that. I found the guy, the artist, but a lot was not known, and I couldn't find an example of this really cool one. This is one of the best ones he did because it's got that Titanic type, Lusitania type ship in the background with a clipper ship or whatever it is on the front there. And at least I think it's a clipper ship. But yeah, that's the, that's the out with the old and in with the new, or something to that effect there. Found a couple other things at the bins. I just don't have them all here to show you, but I want to try to make a video at least today, so we'll see. There was absolutely zero in the mail today. This is really beat up. I don't even know why I purchased this. It's got some autographs on here. This is the Las Vegas Thunder. Sadly, there's some damage to the sticker there. It got really whammoed there. And then there's maybe a small little D-lam right here onto this hockey stick. This is made in the good old Malaysia, so it's probably some sort of, cheap growing bamboo type wood, some sort of mahogany bamboo. It's very, very light. But there's autographs, and I think there's people that have signed twice on here, because I think this guy signed here and this guy signed here. There's some quite famous people that were on the Las Vegas Thunder that lasted from like 93 to like 98 or 99. It did not last very long. Manon, or is it Manon? It's French. Manon, the female hockey player that was very popular in the early 90s. She was on this team, but I do not know if I have her autograph. That would be very, very cool. But sadly, this is very damaged, and somebody spilled some red paint on it. Unless that's blood from a hockey game there. And then there's a big honking scratch right through there. So I wouldn't be surprised if I got this at the bins for next to nothing, So it's just really, I want to say it's probably somebody, if they offered me $5, that would probably take it, but I would not want to ship that. So that's going to stick in my collection for a while. Stick into my collection. And I got a few other things, some paper plates and some bubble wrap and, the like. I got one little badge at the bins, nothing special, some sort of marksman's, rifleman's badge there, nothing special there. But the soccer card at the card shop got me thinking I should double check, CMC for some cards here. And then I also was doing some eBay searches, and I found some really amazing stuff that I have not seen myself, and some really good deals. And the quality of some of these cards here, you know, even though this is in bad condition here, which I consider a not really good shape here, it's better than some of the first ones that I actually got from England, because I was trying to economize. This is back before, you know, people had known anything about anything, so I was economizing, and they were still, you know, $1, $2 a card or whatever, with the shipping, you know, mind you. And so some of these are technically upgrades, you know, but I did manage. I'm already the 10-minute mark here. I did get a whole bunch of cards for a set. I got a bunch of consecutive numbers, and that is really awesome that I could get consecutive numbers. So there's a set that I'm building that's 50 odd cards, 55 cards, and I think I added another 10 cards to that set, and I got consecutive numbers. So I'm working kind of backwards to forwards, because everybody works forwards and backwards. So what they do is they pick out card number 2, 3, 4, and 5. You might find card number 1 or number 2. Then you're at a standstill. It's like, oh shoot, do I really gonna pursue that set because those cards are gone? And I sometimes work backwards. So I was able to get card number 1, then I ended up getting card number 55, and then I found 54, 53, 52, 51, you know, and so on and so forth. So that is really cool to grab those, and you will be seeing those shortly, because I threw in a couple more bucks in COMC. I say a couple more bucks. It's like John Mangini saying $3, you know, it's not a couple of bucks, but I threw some extra dollars in here. Hopefully I'll make sure I leave $5 in here for my shipping, and that'll come in the next month or two, and that will be something that's on the way, because I don't want this to languish too long in COMC. But just let me know what you're purchasing, what you're doing, what you're having for lunch, or anything. Just let me know anything that's going on, and thank you for watching.